So if you've been playing deeper into the endgame of this Diablo 4 expansion, you'll have quickly realized that gold is very important and used on a lot of pretty important things. If you want to respec your endgame skill trees, it costs an ever increasing amount of gold, up to 50 million gold per node respec. So for me right now, if I want to remove 1 point from one of my endgame skill trees, it's 50 million gold, and that goes for every single one. If you want to re-roll the final upgrade of your masterworking, that's 10 million a pop. If you want to constantly re-roll your stat on an item to try to get the best rolled version of that stat, that'll quickly get pretty crazy. Like on two-handed weapons, it could cost tens of millions of gold a re-roll. So gold is very, very important in this expansion, and there is actually a way that I think is a glitch and potentially not intended to happen like this that will allow you to get a significant amount of more gold, and more specifically, this giving over a 900% increase to your gold drops. So while you are first leveling up and going through the story of this expansion, you may have realized that in your talisman, you were getting different drops than you would be getting once you got into the endgame. So if you were getting set charms, those would be for a generic set that just gave you generic stat increases. The seals you were getting that also give you bonuses based upon what sets you're using would also be giving bonuses for those generic sets instead of the class specific sets that you primarily get in the endgame. And this is where this big gold increase comes into play and a bit of a workaround when you get into the endgame. So the first thing you're going to need is the practiced technique set. Now you do actually get this full set just by going through the main story of the game. It will give you all three of this tier set. And the reason this is important is you are going to need to use at least 2 of these practiced technique set. You can also use 3 because the 3 set will also give you another 25% increase to your gold find if you want to use that. But the thing we're using that gives over 900% increased gold does require you have this 2 set equipped. Now, if you got rid of this set when you were leveling up, you might need to go level up a new character and while leveling up get these items. I'm not sure the best way to re-obtain these, but if you just kept them for the main campaign, you will just have the practiced technique set. Now that's just part 1, and part 2 is a little bit more RNG intensive, and this is also where the glitch comes into play, because once you've gotten into the endgame, you'll probably realize that you're pretty much only getting class specific sets now, and if you look at the seals you're getting, they pretty much never give bonuses to generic sets anymore. The bonuses on your seals will basically always be for class specific sets, but there is a method to allow you to start getting bonuses to these generic sets again on these seals, and one of the roles you can get for a generic set is for the practiced technique set that we just went over that gives you an increase to your gold drops. Now you can actually find this bonus when you're lower level, but it's a normal amount of gold drop rate increase. Using this method and getting this specific roll on your seal will give you a bonus to practice technique that gives you a 901 to a 906% increase in the gold drop rate. So that means that if you get this roll on a seal that gives you this gold drop rate increase, and then if you equip the 2 set bonus of the practiced technique set, you will then be getting a 900% increase to your gold drop rate. Now keep in mind, as you go up through the torment tiers, you also get a gold drop rate increase. That caps out at torment 10. At torment 10, you get a 300% increase to your gold drop rate. This does not increase with torment 11 or 12. You are getting triple the gold drop rate increase from the torment tiers just from this one stat increaser on your seal, and that will also add on to the gold drop rate increase you're already getting from your torment tier. So if you get this roll and then you go on torment 10 or above, you will be getting a 1200% increase to your gold drop rate, and this does scale pretty crazily, as you may imagine. But you're probably asking, well, how do I get this actual stat roll on my seal? Because I don't think this is actually a roll you can get on seals in the endgame just by getting them to drop from enemies. I have farmed legitimately hundreds of seals, whether it be rare or legendary seals, never seen this gold drop rate increase. But what you can do is you could take 3 of the same rarity of seal. You're primarily going to want to be doing this with legendary seals. So you can take 3 legendary seals, put them into the Herodric cube, and you can use the, I think, amalgamate recipe, which will turn those 3 seals into one of a new randomly rolled seal. Now, these new seals you get from using this will usually have bonuses to the generic sets again. And this is where you could get this roll, and it's actually not super hard to get. Now, legendary Herodric seals in the endgame don't drop like candy necessarily. I think the best way to go about farming them is just doing lair bosses in the endgame. They seem to have a pretty good drop rate of them, but you're turning 3 legendary seals into 1, and you just keep doing that until you get this roll on it. And like I mentioned, pretty much anytime you turn 3 of these seals into a new one, it seems to almost always, or a majority of the time, be rolling to the generic set bonuses instead of the set specific ones. And if that was a bit confusing, all you're going to be doing is gathering up legendary Herodric seals, putting 3 of them in the cube, and re-rolling those into one new one, and that new one will have the generic stat rolls you're looking for that can give you the gold drop rate increase that we're actually looking for. And once you do that enough, you will get the roll on your seal that gives you the increased gold drop rate if you have the practice technique set equipped. So all you're going to do, you're going to put on that seal. You're going to make sure to have at least the 2-piece bonus of the practice technique set. That will give you the massive drop rate increase. Now, if you're strong enough, you can also use the full 3 set of practice technique. That will give you another 25% increase to gold drops, but you're going to be losing a lot of power because also unless you get super lucky and get this charm with the roll we're looking for that also has the roll to give you the 6 charm slots, you will be losing a lot of power because you'll probably be losing your 5 set bonus, and you'll also probably be losing the 1 unique charm you most likely also have equipped. So you're losing a lot of power, but if you have a strong enough build to go farm in tier 10, you don't need to go up the tiers to tier 11 or tier 12. That won't increase your gold. So drop it down to tier 10, put on this new seal to gold drop rate increase, put on your 2 or 3 set of practice technique, and then you are going to go farm gold. Now, there are a lot of ways to go farm gold in the game right now. There's a bunch of really good methods, and I will be doing a video on like all of the best ways to farm gold. But just to give you an idea of the increase in gold this actually gives, I went and tested this on a few nightmare dungeons with the gold reserve affix specifically. Now, if you don't know what this does, gold reserve just adds those chests all throughout your nightmare dungeon. Then when you open them, they drop a bunch of gold. Now, when getting this affix on a normal nightmare dungeon sigil and opening these chests without the 900% increase, I was getting on average 7 million gold per chest. Now, it can be a little bit less, it can be a little bit more, but on Torment 10, it was giving around 7 million a chest, I would say on average. When I equipped all of the things we just went over and got my 900% increase to gold drops, it was dropping on average around 20 million gold. Now, that's more or less. Sometimes it would be like 19 million. I think one time I got like 23 million. So it's probably more like 18 to like 25 million or something. There is a bit of variance in how much gold you actually get from these chests, and that's normal. On average, I would say it was around 20 million. So just doing this one farm, which is probably one of the most basic gold farms in the game right now, is just getting gold reserve on a nightmare sigil and opening all the chests. It went from 7 to 20 million gold per chest, which is absolutely ridiculous. And again, there are also a bunch of additional ways to make gold. Make sure to subscribe because I will also be doing a video of all the best ways to make gold, but just getting the seal and equipping the things we went over in this video, no matter what you're doing, you're getting a ridiculous amount of increased gold. And this is basically just having a gold set to go farm gold when you need it. So if you are specifically looking for gold, I would definitely try to change up your build a little bit to make it stronger with using this new seal and these new charms that you need to use that will lose you a lot of power. So try to set up a gold farming build and then go and specifically farm gold for a bit until you have a bunch of built up gold. Then you change back to your normal build and you don't have to worry about gold for a while because there are multiple nightmare dungeon sigils. There's some other content in the game. There's even just rewards for more plans that can all give you a lot of gold at a baseline and increase that by 900%. And now it's absolutely ridiculous. So if you want to pretty quickly farm up billions and billions of gold to be able to use on everything you're trying to do, use this method. Once you've learned the method to actually get get this gold increase, it doesn't actually take long to farm up these rolls you're looking for. But that's all I want to go over. So thanks for watching.